We're a family business. I have my wife, my 2 sons that work in the business with me. So we really actually are a family-run business. We call them our extended family. We do it from the moment they walk into the office. We actually have personal relationships and friendships with our clients.
They're not just a client, they are part of our friends and family.
That's what we do here at Sterling Financial Advisors. We help people get peace of mind and quality of life in retirement.
Welcome back, folks. Dan O'Weiler is here, Sterling Financial Advisors, and they are kind enough to sponsor our Friday show, and Dan's kind enough to be here.
Happy to be here, Ken.
Yeah, good to see you. You know, last week we got into talking about annuities, and there's a lot to talk about. We
could spend 3 or 4 weeks on this.
Yeah, we just touched a little bit on it, and you wanted to continue today. And I think what we really talked about at first was just the different type of annuities.
I think we talked about income annuities last time, where you could set up an income stream for a specific period of time.
Yeah, exactly. Now you want to talk about the types of deferred annuities. First, what is a deferred annuity?
Deferred annuity is a contract with an insurance company, basically. It's kind of like a CD or some other type of contract. When you go into a bank and you get a CD, you have a contract for 6 months, a year, 5 years, whatever it is. An annuity contract with an insurance company works the same way. You can set it up for 3 years, 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, however long you want to do. Now, a deferred annuity, basically you're accumulating the interest for a period of time. You're not paying any taxes on that during that accumulation phase.
Okay.
And then at some point, if you decide that you want to start taking income, you can then take that balance and turn it into an income annuity at that time.
Okay.
So the advantage of a deferred annuity is you can really take funds that maybe are earning 0.5% in the bank, and then you're being taxed on it. Maybe transfer that some of it to an insurance company. You might be able to earn 2.5% for 5 years, but you're not taxed on that. So there can be some good things about that. Now, deferred annuities come as what they call fixed interest, like a CD, or they have a variable annuity on the other extreme, which basically invests in mutual funds in the stock market. And then there's one that's in between called a fixed indexed annuity, which is a little bit more conservative.
Now, you mentioned fixed interest. Is this sometimes what I hear about? You'll see annuities being talked about or advertised or saying, I can guarantee you you're going to be getting X amount of percentage every year.
Right.
Is that what's talked about?
There's two types of marketing pieces out there now.
Okay.
There's a fixed interest annuity, and I'll tell you right now, I understand the market, that you can get about 2.5%, maybe 2.75% for 5 years. That's kind of the higher end of the fixed interest annuity.
Okay.
Then there's another portion that says we can guarantee you 6 or 7%. Problem is that's tied to what they call an income rider, and I can get into that a little bit later, but it's really a little bit deceptive in the fact that you don't have access to all of that 7% at once. You have to take an income stream. So you can't take this 6 or 7% and in 5 years decide that you're going to get it all at once. You have to take an income stream. And that's one of the things I think we'll talk about in the future as we get into those things, because it's a rider that you attach to these fixed indexed or variable annuities that come into play.
So on the deferred one, basically, let's just say you picked a 5-year one at 2.5%.
Okay.
Does that mean during that 5 years, you are not taking anything out of there? 5 years from now, they are not only giving back the money you put in, but also the accrued interest.
Yeah, you kind of shake their hands, and they've given you compounded interest over that period of time at 2.5%.
Okay.
You don't pay taxes on that until you decide to take it out. Now, at the end of 5 years, if you still don't need it, you can either keep it with that insurance company or see what rates are with another insurance company and do what is called a 1035 exchange and avoid paying taxes on that interest.
Okay.
So you can keep that going as long as you'd like, as long as the terms are okay with you.
Okay, but eventually, would you pay taxes the day that you take that out, or can you ever turn that into a type of investment that, like into an IRA or something like that.
It's kind of the old frame oil filter. You can pay me now or you pay me
so
later.
Okay.
You are gonna pay the taxes, or your heirs are gonna pay the taxes on that. And there's some strategies that you can use to get around that we may get into a little bit later. But that's the fixed interest annuity guarantees your principal. You don't have to worry about market risk at all. The market goes up 20%, you're still going to get your 2.5. It goes down 20%, you're still going to get your 2.5, just like a CD. Okay, that's the fairly conservative portion of the annuity industry. The other extreme is more risk, more return, is the variable annuity. You're basically investing in mutual funds.
Okay,
and they have all, probably 50 or 60 different mutual funds that you can invest in. You hear horror stories, you hear good stories about annuities. It's just that you have to make sure that you get the type of annuity that fits for what you're trying to do. As I work with people like many of your viewers, as we get into our retirement years, we need to be a little bit more conservative in what they do. And so a lot of these variable annuities have what they call riders, guarantee your principal or guarantee the death benefit, but you're going to pay for that. And so your fees on variable annuities can run anywhere from, I'm going to say 2% to 4% each year, okay? And so if you want more guarantees, you're going to pay for that.
Okay.
It's going to be a little bit more advantageous in an up market. It's not going to be very good in a down market. And so it's not a right or wrong answer. It's just that you need to know what you're getting when you go into that.
Right. So when it gets back to the fixed interest, let's say you're in there for 5 years, and hypothetically, all of a sudden, interest rates skyrocket a couple years in. You're locked into that for 5 years.
Just like a CD.
Okay.
Now you can take your money out. There's early surrender charges, just like that. So if it makes sense to take your, if interest rates get so high, and now you're getting 6%, and over the next 3 or 4 years, you're going to be better off, even though you take the surrender charge.
Right.
You can still do that.
Okay.
Just like a CD.
So you can.
You can get access to that, and there's opportunities to do that. So you just need to do some planning and making sure that these contracts fit for what you do. And we've used annuities with our clients, and they're in the right situation, they can be a very effective tool.
Okay. What about what's called a guaranteed roll-up percentage?
Well, that's the thing that I talked about. The fixed indexed annuity is the other, is kind of the in between a variable annuity and a fixed interest annuity.
Okay.
You're not going to get all of the upside of the market, but you don't get any downside either. So when you put your money in there, it's guaranteed never to lose money. Now, if the market goes up 10%, you might get 4 or 5 of that.
Okay.
If the market goes down 10%, you don't lose anything, you just get 0 that year. So a lot of times that's good for our clients who maybe want to reduce their risk a little bit.
Right.
And say, okay, the market's at an all-time high right now. I want to lock in my gains, but I still want growth opportunity. We can do that by putting them into an indexed annuity and give up some of the upside to protect us against the downside.
Okay.
Okay. And so it really makes sense for a lot of. I've got a couple that I'm working with right now that have had variable annuities for 20 years. They've actually done very well because the market over 20 years has done okay. We've now locked that in, transferred them into an indexed annuity, which locks in their gains now, and they give up a little bit of the upside to protect them against the downside. Okay. And so I think that the fees involved with a fixed indexed annuity are much less than they are a variable annuity. And so we can actually, I think the fees that they were paying was $25,000 a year on a few of these annuities that they had, and they were able to reduce that substantially over a period of time that helps them out in that regard as well. Now the roll-up thing that you talked about, that's what they call a lifetime income benefit rider, or a lifetime income rider. And these are the things that are out there promoting 6-7% guaranteed on your money. That's great, but this is a rider account. It's not your account value. The rider account is only used for an income stream. Okay. You can't walk away with that money. And it's probably a little bit more complex to try to do it in 2 minutes. We might spend a whole time on that at one time. But I think there are values to that because you have people that don't want to run out of their money. You can set up one of these riders with a guaranteed lifetime income stream, just like a pension.
Okay.
And as I have a lot of clients right now, I'm working with a client this afternoon that they've got their 401k, they're getting ready to retire, but they need a pension plan. Mm-hmm. Well, if in 3 or 4 years we can have this accumulate at 6-7% and then turn it into an income stream, it works out very well for them.
Okay, if they have something like that and then again decide down the way that no, this isn't right for me, they can get out and they have to pay a penalty?
Well, it depends on the length of the contract.
Okay.
They run anywhere from 5 to 15 years.
Okay.
Okay. So if you get a 5-year contract, at the end of 5 years, you can walk away penalty free. Mm-hmm. Okay. But if you get a 10-year contract and you need all of your money after 7 years, there is an early surrender charge. Mm-hmm. Okay. But that comes with anything that we get guarantees with.
Right.
If you tell the company I'll be with you for 10 years and then you decide to change your mind, they've invested the money for a 10-year period.
Okay.
Okay. So there's things that can, I brought a little thing that one of the insurance companies has put together called fixed indexed annuities, mm-hmm. and it kind of compares the differences between variable annuities and fixed indexed annuities, and we would be happy to send those to people if they'd want. I know a lot of people have concerns about their annuities. We sit down and do an annuity review for free. Mm-hmm. If they would like to come in and have us review those things, see the fees that they're paying on any variable annuities, we'd be happy to do that.
And it's just talking with you about this, there's so much in the world of annuities.
I think over the next 2 or 3 weeks, we're going to kind of change focus a little bit. I'm going to be bringing in our estate planning attorney and talking about that. But there are some other issues that I think that we need to clear up with some of these annuities and spend some time on these income riders that they talk about to make sure, because there's a difference between income riders as well in the payout rates that they pay.
Yeah, I think it would be interesting to get into that a little bit more and get into really exactly how they work, where your money is sitting, and how you're getting those payouts.
I've seen income riders that roll up at 7% pay out less than those that roll up at 6%, just because the payout rates for the companies are lower on the 7% payout than they are the 6%. So I mean, there's a lot of things that we can talk about. But the thing is getting with somebody that really understands the variable annuities, the fixed indexed annuities, and understanding what they're really paying on those contracts mm-hmm. in comparison to what might be available today.
When did these annuities start to become more prevalent and popular?
Variable annuities have been around for years.
Okay.
I mean, 25, 30, 40 years, okay? Mm-hmm. Fixed indexed annuities started to really hit their heyday maybe 10 years ago.
Okay.
They've been around for about 15 years. Mm-hmm. When the market crashed and everybody lost their money, they really became popular because your principal is guaranteed in these things.
Yeah.
And so they really have, over the last 10 years, have been hitting their strides. And there's stockbrokers don't sell a lot of them. They sell more of the variable annuities. Mm-hmm. And so within the industry, there's people that love them, people that hate them,
Right.
It's not a right or wrong thing. It's just making sure that it fits right for what the people want to do with their money.
All right. And want to mention that over the next, I think 2 to 3 weeks. 2 to 3 weeks. Dan's actually going to be sitting in this chair because
that's a little bit scary.
He did some segments with his basically it's your in-house attorney.
We have an in-house estate planning attorney that does all of our trusts and wills and powers of attorneys and things, and we just kind of had a conversation and introduced Brian Eisenbeis is his name, and we're going to be talking to him over the next 2 to 3 weeks and introducing him and talking about some estate planning.
Very
issues.
good. Yeah, they're good segments. We taped those about a week or so ago, and they're very well done. Excellent.
Thank
you. If you want to give Dan a call, 859-8900. And
I just might mention, Ken,
sure.
We just got through setting up a date. I think it's May 16th,
okay.
A Thursday, over at 19 Restaurant at Village Greens. We're gonna be having our first seminar series for the spring over there.
Very good.
In the morning, and if people would like to register for that, we'd love to have them come. We do this from time to time here in the area, but it'll be the first time at 19 Restaurant.
Very good. And you can, we'll mention that information.
Yeah, just call the office, tell us that it's going to be, I think it's going to be a luncheon. We'll probably be meeting about 10:30 or so, and then we'll have a luncheon right after that. But it'll be an opportunity for us to introduce ourselves to the people here.
All right, very good. So give Dan a call at 859-8900, Sterling Financial Advisors. As you can see, the best thing you can do is sit down with Dan and have a free consultation and get some of your answers, or get some of your questions answered. And everyone's different.
Everybody
right?
is.
Yeah.
It's amazing that you can't just say that this annuity is best for this person and this person and this person.
Exactly.
Because they're not.
No. Thank you very much. And again,
Good,
in the next, I think 2 to 3 weeks, we'll be having those special segments.
And we'll probably finish up when I come home on the income riders.
All right, very good. All right, folks, we'll be right back with more Channel 6 News. Very good.
That was a good segment.
You know, it's important for you to get your financial house in order. And so it breaks my heart sometimes when I see widows that come in with $100,000, $200,000 to their name, and yet their broker has lost $200,000 or $300,000 in the market when they shouldn't even have been in the market. The most satisfying part that I find in working with retirees is when they come in on their annual reviews and the market has had a bad turn, and we know that we can sit down and look at them and say, you haven't lost any money.